Hello, welcome to this valuable session. Thank you so much to TDRA for this great opportunity to provide this session today, as well as all of the other sessions that we are recording, especially under this title Digital Fundamentals and specifically Digital Transformation. Last time we were talking about business process management, mainly introduction to process thinking, and we saw how important this was in terms of all the business organizations, all no matter what the type of organization was, having the process thinking was very important, especially nowadays with the technological advancements and all these technological tools that are found in our hands. So I advise you to watch it if you did not do so yet. My name is Nada Almais. I'm a certified trainer from New Minds. This is about STEAM, divergent thinking, and changing mindsets. I'm a coach, I'm a business development consultant as well, and a university instructor. Today, we'll talk about creative problem solving, and this also falls under digital fundamentals and digital transformation, as we will see how we can also benefit from the use and the presence of different tools and technologies in order to be creative in problem solving. Problem solving is a process of, so this is a process. It can be a methodology as well, a way of thinking, a skill that you can acquire if you still don't have through such trainings, and a skill you can improve if you already have. Defining a problem, first of all, and we'll talk more about this, determining the reason of the problem. So, why is this problem taking place or happening? Identifying, selecting, and implementing the best solution for resolving the issues efficiently and effectively in an organization. Again, talking about digital fundamentals, we really focus on efficiency and effectiveness. And this is the aim and the goal of all organizations, no matter what the type, what their type is, and no matter in what field they work, and if they produce services or goods. We need to do things effectively to achieve our desired goals and efficiently by saving resources, by achieving higher qualities, by cutting costs. So, this is all what we aspire nowadays. This course will show you how to recognize the underlying problem and executing a solution. And here I want to add something. When we say a problem, nowadays in the marketplace or the market space, if we're talking online, and when I say market space, that has no borders, and this is where I'm talking about e-businesses and e-commerce. So, because like you don't have these geographical or physical borders that will prevent you from growing or hindering your growth. So, the whole space and the whole internet is yours. And so here, what I want to add is when I say problem, is not necessarily a very serious one problem. So maybe a case I have in hand that I have to handle. So I have to handle something, maybe a gap in the market or an opportunity that I want to benefit from. Okay, so you can think about it this way. And if we take it to the extreme, also very severe problems can be solved in the approaches that we'll be talking about later in this session. It is one of the critical skills that every company seeks in job applicants because individuals holding these skills tend to be self reliant in their day to day functioning. So if you have this skill of, or if you're trying to improve it, if you already have it, you can add it to your curriculum vitae. So it's good to mention in the CV that you have these problem solving skills, as companies need such people and they need these mentalities and ways of thinking so they can solve different problems that they confront in their daily operations and in their also they expect in their future to fall in their future plans and work. This course provides individuals with the necessary skills and knowledge of essential concepts that will help them to become proficient with problem solving skills. So you must have this, and this is a skill that is a must have nowadays, especially under all of the technologies that we're working with, because at the end of the day, we still have the human factor and our human intelligence that will analyze things and will view things differently, different than machines. But with the help of machines and specialized systems and software, we can achieve more and solve more problems efficiently and effectively. The objectives of this course are: number one, introduction to problem solving; number two, strategies for investigating problems; number three, barriers to problem solving; number four, problem solving cycle; and number five, applying critical thinking to everyday problems. I want to mention something about barriers to problem solving. Like these are the same barriers that will stop you from improving yourself as an individual, or going further and improving your corporate competitiveness if you were a corporation, a business. So these barriers are the lack of flexibility. If you're not open, openness is something very good. Acquiring more to learn. Learning is not only for individuals, by the way, it's also for corporates, it's also for businesses, for organizations. Even businesses, they learn as well. So there are lots of barriers. Also, like if I'm a manager of the type of like, I know everything and I don't want to listen to anyone and it's my decision. If I'm like holding these principles and I'm not being flexible and leaving a margin or delegating authorities and responsibilities, also this will be a barrier for us to solve our business problems. Lots of very big companies in all of the world, they were able to solve their business problems with the help of assistants or maybe employees that fall in the bottom lines of their hierarchy, in the hierarchical structure, like people who are working as securities or in the operational level, because like they see things in a different way than managers would do. A manager is sitting in his or her office most of the time and viewing some maybe reports or statistics, maybe some user-friendly visualizations, taking decisions and having the long-term vision. But other people in the operational level are viewing things maybe on ground more than other managers. That's why you have to be open. Everyone must share in this problem-solving approach, and you have to be open for all points of views and suggestions. So you never know where the solution comes from. Plus, one more thing to add is in some companies also they take visits from schools. Like just sometimes they call these naive approaches. Like they are very simple approaches that very big companies follow sometimes to solve some problems or to open their eyes on opportunities that they cannot see. They open their floors to school visits where schools will bring their students and they wander around, they go look in their plant, in their offices, and they can hear the kids how they are talking or what are they saying. And this way, like kids see things differently, and this will enlighten also some more ideas or solutions to problems or some questions that students may ask the company about. Also, they can trigger things in their thoughts, and you never know what will happen next. So openness is very important, and the flexibility. So let's begin and start. First of all, what is problem solving? It is the act of defining a problem, first of all. We'll talk more about how we can define a problem, determine the cause of the problem, and this is very important, identifying, prioritizing, and selecting alternatives for an appropriate solution. It is the process of achieving a goal by overcoming obstacles. So you have a goal that you want to achieve, but of course, there is no like, it's not la vie en rose. It's not like this rosy life and this fancy life that we're living in companies and like there's no perfectionism in this. So you might always fall in some obstacles or challenges that you have to face in order to achieve your goal. And we'll talk more about the steps that you have to follow in order to solve your problem. When you define the problem, second, you need to know the reason, what caused this problem. Why did this problem take place? We have to identify alternatives, alternative solutions. You have to prioritize them, what to start with, number one, two, three, and you have to select the best alternative in order to apply, taking into consideration all of the circumstances that you have internally, as well as the surrounding environment of your business organization or you as an individual. You can see here some terms in this image surrounding the problem solving title, like strategy, and this is having the long term visions and plans, innovation, being innovative in creating solutions and thinking about what solutions are, puzzle. So I can see the word puzzle. What puzzle here? Why did they write puzzle? Like, like in a puzzle, there will be missing pieces, so you can just build them in, and then the whole image will become clear. Challenges, of course, there will be no perfect road for you, so you will be confronted by some obstacles and challenges. Um, Solving business problems, difficulties, of course, struggling. Sometimes you have to iterate and repeat again and again until you find the best solution. Different danger, planning, inspiration, okay, some troubles. So these are all terms that are relevant to problem solving. Creativity also as well. We have to be creative, and as I said, we have to innovate and be creative in solving our problems. And this is not, like what fits us might not necessarily fit others as individuals as well as businesses. And this is the problem lots of businesses fall with, where they all imitate each other or copy paste what others are doing. Problem solving steps. Step number one, define the problem. Here, in defining the problem, we have dig in the problem. We have to clearly understand the problem. So, let's say if I tell you I have a headache, if someone will give me a painkiller, so this is for the headache, will this be a solution? We go, like most of us will think right away with the solution. What's the solution of my headache? Take some painkillers. And this might not be the solution. This might cause me a new problem. I might be having this headache from maybe having cold, or maybe I'm hungry. Maybe I didn't get enough sleep last night, or something like, I don't know. There might be lots and lots of problems that cannot be solved with painkillers. So defining the problem is the most important step, and the most step that takes time of the whole steps here in the whole process. So you have to clearly understand the problem. Number two, analyze the problem. You have to analyze it. Here you have to know the causes, the root causes of the problem, the reasons behind. So, and to help you with this, I can go to this slide. You can ask yourself the five whys, five times why. Okay, so let's start with the problem phrase. Something happened, why? You answer it. Then you ask the second why, answer, the third why, answer, the fourth why, answer, and the fifth why, answer. And here, the root cause, as you see in this slide, will appear in front of you. And the root causes of the problem, where the solution can be easily then deduced or concluded out of these five whys. Okay, step number three is develop potential solutions. So we have to develop several solutions and alternatives, as we mentioned earlier, because like you have to think. Usually, when we do it in a live session, we do the brainstorming. I tell them, write down every single solution that comes to your mind, no matter if it's applicable or not, coming from an outer space, or everything that comes to your mind, just write it down. Then at the end, we can just try to tick things maybe, or scratch them out if they are not applicable or not available or infeasible, and we check the feasibility also. We have also six types of feasibilities. You will check the legal feasibility, the contractual one, the economic feasibility. If we have enough money, we have the budget. Also, our skills. Like you have to check if this solution is feasible or not, until you will reach out to the optimal solution that is the most feasible solution for you right now to apply in order to solve this problem. Here is the evaluation of the options and then selecting the best option or the optimal solution of a certain problem. And now implement the solution. You have to implement the solution. This is actionable, and this is where actions take place. So we can check then what happened. Is the solution, is the problem solved? What happened next? And we have to measure the results. Lots of people might stop at step number 6, but we have to proceed to step number 7 and measure the results. Why? Because there is always a tendency for you to fall in the future with the same problems. So if this already passed with you in the past, so you will take advantage of the experience you have. By measuring results, you can actually know exactly if this worked well or not, or you have to change something for future experiences and lessons. And this is eventually a lesson to be learned, maybe on a personal basis as well. Okay, so this is also one of the techniques that is all surrounded by optimism. You see this word? This is very important. Okay, like we are human beings and we have these thoughts and ideas and feelings, emotions, visions, like this is what differentiates us from machines. So lots of technologies will help us solve problems, but the optimism is something found within people, within human beings. I need to be optimistic, not pessimistic, but at the same time, I don't want to exaggerate this, because like companies who exaggerated in this technique, they fell in other problems as well. So they were not very realistic. So I have to be realistic, logical, but at the same time have this optimism that everything will go well and we will be able to solve this problem. First, we have to identify the problem, as we said, get the facts, and keep it simple. Okay, here do not, okay, we need to gather information and check everything what's going on, but do not exaggerate again, and do not over gather information, because like the more you get is, if there are more than enough, this is equal to the less that you have, because like you will be maybe lost with lots of files and documents, and this will take you too much time, and maybe will make you deviate from the purpose you're working for. Second, define. In defining, we have to brainstorm and strategize. Brainstorming is very important technique to be done in, and this is a social technique. Actually, it's not a technical one. But also you can use technologies and specialized systems like bulletin boards and other collaborative tools available online, and in specialized systems where they can help you brainstorm more. And group work here, teamwork is important to apply as well. Number 3, evaluate. As we said here, balance the costs and benefits. So you need to see the pros and cons. Maybe you need to see how much the feasibility a little bit, in order to pick the best solution for us. Remember, for us, not if someone did this and it worked, we have to copy them. No, it might work and it might not. Number 4, act. Just do it. Now come take an action in order to apply the solution, the selected solution. And finally, number five, you have to see, you have to measure, you have to monitor, you have to check if this worked or not. We have to review things and redo them then the right way, or reapply them in future things that we have if they worked well. There is a problem solving cycle also, where first you identify the problem, as we said. In problem identification, I will mention the importance of technologies and digitalization. Here, there are lots of tools that will help organizations scan the market. Okay, so because like it acts just as an eye, like you see with your eye. These tools are just the eye of the organizations where they can scan the market to predict or to foresee some challenges or problems that they will fall with, like taking precautions and being proactive in acting rather than being reactive. And especially nowadays in a very aggressive market, aggressive competition, lots of competition offline and online, where you need to prove yourself and be stable, not to go out of market, especially with outstanding players in the market. Also, you have to be a pioneer, and having all this requires you to have technologies and digitalize and automate what you have in order to achieve what you aim for. The second, we have to explore. Number three, set goals. In setting our goals, we have to be smart. And smart stands for, it's a letter out of every word. It's a capital letter actually. S stands for specific. So you have to be specific. Do not over generalize. Being specific is good here. M stands for measurable. So you have to measure, as we said, you have to be able to measure so you can know if you achieve your requirements or not. A is for achievable. So I have to set achievable goals, not something impossible. I have to be realistic in setting my goals. R is for relevant. So relevant to the problem or relevant also to the business I have, to the organization, to my life. If I'm talking about personal problem solving things, this must be relevant. It must fall under the overall goals of the organization. Is, there are general goals for the whole organization, and if I'm talking about a certain department or a certain problem, a certain person, so this must all fall within or under these general goals that we have priorly relevant. And finally, the T is time bound. So it must be measured within a certain time frame. Also, we don't leave it over general and forever. So we have to specify a time frame for achieving these goals. Number four, the alternatives. Number five, select the proper alternative. And number six, implement the selected solution. Finally, evaluate what you have applied, if it was right or needed some modifications. So this can be archived. There's a corporate library that also stores problems with their solutions and the alternatives and all of these details and the whole cycle we're mentioning. This is the problem solving cycle. And this corporate library is automated and digitalized, and is every time you fall in a new problem, you will have to go back to this corporate library, check if this problem was confronted earlier or not, in order to take further actions. Okay, we've mentioned the five whys. Now, critical thinking. Why are we talking about critical thinking here? It is important to mention this, as critical thinking will enable you to solve problems. it is a higher level of thinking. It's not something very simple. It is when you go deep in your mind and in your brains and dig deeper in order to infer some rules, some understandings, some insights, some new techniques of thinking, maybe some new answers, new questions. Being creative and innovative is part of this as well. Coming up with innovative ideas, problem solving. This will lead, of course, to problem solving and effective decision making. Okay, whenever we are able to solve problems, we can also make better decisions rapidly, relevant, and effectively. Here, also in critical thinking, we see that several words are surrounding, like process, recognize, information, facts, problems, intellectual. It's an intellectual skill, of course. It's something relevant to our brains. And critical thinking has some universal intellectual values such as clarity, fairness, depth, consistency, precision, honesty, and relevance. I guess I mentioned this. Okay, now how you can improve your critical thinking skills, because this is a skill that you can mention as well that you have, or you can acquire as well. Try, I'm going to talk about like two different activities that you can apply on your own, and you can do them as a team or as an individual as well. Try to think differently about things. You can see in this image that the word different is flipped all over, and this is different as well. And I want you to think about things differently. So let's say you can have this big question: how would life be different if? Okay, let's say, how would life be different if the sun rises from the west, not from the east? So this is a question. And maybe another question: how would life be different if the sky was orange and not blue? How would life be different if I was a butterfly rather than being a human being? So I would maybe think about my life, how it's gonna be. Okay, so this is, like, try to ask yourself some big questions that that you never had in mind, and that will change the whole things around you, and try to answer them. This is how also this helps you to improve your critical thinking skills. Now, another maybe game or activity that you can do it as a game, actually, a word play. Let's say you have to select up to 20 words as maximum that you have to use, and they will be your life dictionary, where you can use no other words other than these 20 in your whole life. What these 20 words would be. So also write them down. So for me, they will be different than yours and hers and his, and so on. Okay, we can do it as a team as well, and check what is important for me and what's important for you, and what are the common words, what are different words, everyone according to their background, their interests, their hobbies, their mentalities, how they view things and how they perceive things. So this is also good, because these are things that are out of the box and out of our thinking. We're not used to think this way. We have lots of words to use. Everything is available and we can use them. Now I'm just having some limitations for my mind not to think of more than these 20 words, and I have to stick to using them my whole life, only these words. So how would life would be, and what are these 20 words? Try to do such activities, and this will help you also improve your critical thinking skills. Also, you can do this this game. Also, you used to play it when you were kids, of course, like having some stuff in front of you and hiding them so everyone can guess what was on the table, and later on you can show them again, and so on. This also improves critical thinking skills. And as much as you practice in solving problems, or making decisions, analyzing situations. This will improve your critical thinking skills. Now, problem solving and critical thinking. Problem solving and critical thinking refers to the ability to use knowledge, facts, and data to effectively solve problems. Okay, so we must critically think about these problems and use the data that we have. Like I will now I will differentiate between data, information, and knowledge. Data are raw facts. They are raw streams of facts. They can be numbers that are not processed. They can be numbers, images, sounds, letters, anything that is unclear, does not have a meaning right now. Data is transformed after processing into information and using computerized systems. So these systems will transform data into information. After processing and having the meaningful form, data becomes information. Information after synergy and some relationships also using information systems. And believe me, this is very hard to be done without digitalization and technologies. Now, information after synergy becomes knowledge, and knowledge is really used in decision making and problem solving, especially in taking having some offers provided in the market, deciding on the ads they want to make, what new products to introduce, and so on. I'll give some examples. Data, let's say if I have a grocery store, a supermarket, so these numbers that are on my book, let's say, or on my system, like selling some washing detergents, some bread, rice, sugar, what else? So these are data. I still don't know what will happen. How much profits did I make? What are my revenues? If I'm losing money, what are my costs? So at the end of the day, when I do the calculations with the help of the computer systems, of course, I will get the information that where I can understand if how much I'm losing or I'm earning money, I'm making profits or not, what are my revenues, how much my costs, what orders do I need to make from suppliers in order to compensate the products on the shelves, and so on. And regarding knowledge, we cannot do this by observation or by any other manual techniques. This is done only digitally with the help of computer systems where they can make the synergies, the relationships to become, so the information will become knowledge. How? By relating everything. For I'll give an example. The system, for example, in my store showed me that more than 90%, for example, of people who purchase potato chips will purchase a Pepsi can or vice versa. Okay, because like it can analyze the receipts, the bills, and so on. So here, this is knowledge where I can benefit from. How? Maybe in the same aisle, I will place the potato chips and the Pepsi cans, or what type of offers I can provide, or even the companies that produce these drinks or these potato chips, and so on. So, this is a very simple example for you to understand the difference between data, information, and knowledge because they are different indeed. This doesn't mean you need to have an immediate answer. It means you have to be able to think on your feet, assess problems, and find solutions. Critical thinking, if you have this skill, so as I'm say, as this is mentioned, sorry, here, this doesn't mean that you have to solve the problem right on the spot, but at least you can guarantee you can logically and deeply think about solving these problems and analyzing these problems so you can infer some answers or solutions. It includes the ability to analyze information and formulate creative solutions to complex problems. So, this critical thinking, as I mentioned, includes the analytical skills that you have also. You can analyze, and analyzing also is different from a person to another. If you're doing this, of course, you're doing this intellectually. Everyone is different and special with the creation of their brains. And you can solve complex problems by critical thinking. Okay, critical thinking prepares people for jobs that do not exist yet, because this helps you to improve yourself, to look at the future, to become more flexible and lenient in some points where you can adapt more to changes and to popping up situations. Number two, improves people's flexibility and learning skills. As I mentioned, also the flexibility, and you can learn more by analyzing and acquiring and digging deeper and thinking differently about things. Makes education less passive and more interactive. This is critical thinking, and helps people also. It helps in schools. Critical thinking helps people better express their ideas, so the speaking skills, the communication skills, because like your brain is really improving and thinking more and deeper in a different manner. Critical thinking with problem solving, it helps make the next generation more adaptable to changes. This is really critical here to talk about, because everything is changes, and changes are taking place rapidly and happening always and every time. And technology is moving on really fast, so we need to adapt these changes, we need to adapt them, we need to create them at the same time. Like, some people will adapt, but why won't we be the people who are creating these changes? This is important for us as businesses and as individuals as well. We can harvest more profits and we can show more in the market. We can be pioneers in our industry. Problem solving skills, active listening, analysis, research, creativity, communication, decision making, team building, and lots of other skills that you need to acquire in order to become a good problem solver. And at the same time, if you are able to solve problems and follow the approaches and techniques we mentioned earlier, you will also acquire and improve these skills in your personality. You can become a good listener, you can analyze things more, a good communicator. You can research more in order to know what are the relevant data and information you need to make use of. You have to analyze more the situations and the problems and the solutions, the alternatives, in order to decide. You have to be creative and innovative, especially we've mentioned critical thinking and team building. Team building, why? And here you see this puzzle in the image, that have these people blend in a team and work together, each with a certain type of skill. Team building, because especially nowadays, teamwork skills are very well acquired and needed. I mean, very well, sorry, required and needed in organizations, because more specializations are found. People, there's no one who can know everything. So we need different people to be on board in order to solve problems, as I mentioned in the beginning of this session, or to create, to innovate, to come up with new ideas. That's why teamwork and team building skills are very important. You can also add this on your CV, on your curriculum vitae, as a good point for you, as skills you have in your personality. Benefits of problem solving skills. Beneficiaries here gain the ability to reflect critically on learning experiences and processing, and to make effective decisions. Also, while solving problems, beneficiaries also learn other important skills such as creativity, collaboration, and cooperation. So, as we mentioned, the teamwork skills and collaboration that is needed from this team Also, there are online tools, free tools, also specialized systems and software that will help you collaborate, such as Google Docs, Google Drive, and other lots and lots of other tools and services that are found to help collaborate, especially nowadays that teams are dispersed geographically, but online they meet up in order to get things done and work done in a specific time. So they need these collaboration tools in order to finish their work and to cooperate effectively and efficiently. I need to mention here artificial intelligence. Problems can be solved by artificial intelligence using searching algorithms, evolutionary computations, knowledge representations, and etc. IT has the potential to help humans solve problems that are too difficult for us to solve on our own, and AI can help us process large amounts of data more rapidly and accurately. So, IT or information technology is a center nowadays and is a must to have in organizations nowadays. In our personal life, imagine every one of you minimum has a smartphone. So you can manage your daily life, your personal life. We're using it for entertainment, for scheduling our appointments, our booking our calendars, surfing the web. Yeah, I said gaming, entertainment, accessing our emails, and doing lots of work, socializing and communicating with others. This is all using technologies and the smartphone that we have. So, what about businesses and organizations? Don't you think they need the information technology to achieve, to do their daily work, their daily operations, their strategies, and their tactics? Of course, they do need. IT is the software and the hardware used with the telecommunications also as software and hardware that businesses and organizations need to work with. And here we have to mention artificial intelligence, we have to mention machine learning, we have to mention virtual reality, augmented reality, all other specialized software and systems that are accessible, that span the whole organization, or maybe specialized for specific departments or certain levels in the hierarchy of the organization. These are all needed nowadays in order to solve problems and make decisions. And this is how we can access more. We can analyze large amounts of data in less time with less costs, more accurately, as manually you have the tendency to mistaken sometimes. We don't have flexibility, we don't have lots of data sharing, we don't have also the accountability is somehow missing. Maybe some interventions will happen, some intruders might access some data, but using technologies and these systems, this is not happening anymore, and I can make my decisions faster and more accurate, more relevant, and I can compete in the market as a business. I can survive in the market as a business. I can create my competitive advantage based on these digitalized tools, on these technologies. I can have the e-business, the electronic business, where my most important three relationships with employees, with customers, and with other stakeholders are digitally enabled and computerized, and hence I can also become an e-commerce, or I can build myself an e-commerce presence if I'm still not online, or preserve my presence online if I'm already online, because e-commerce is booming nowadays and it's just the start with still lots and lots and more to come. And I guess you're seeing the market, whether it's business to consumers, B2C or B2B. business to business, or even C to C, consumer to consumer. We are all digitalizing and automating processes and operations in order to achieve more and to reach out more for more customers, for more suppliers. And this is where our employees are, this is where our customers are, and we have to go to our customers, not the inverse. We have to look for them and find them and go for them. Even governments, if we're talking about governments who are dealing with each other, even they need these technologies in order to solve their problems internally with their citizens, or to handle situations, or externally with their external relationships with other countries in their environments. This is what I want to mention about creative problem solving. You have to be creative. Some people say think out of the box, but sometimes I say you can think inside the box, but differently, where you can solve some problems. And finally, I can tell you that you can prevent falling in some problems by overseeing, by predicting the future. These scientific predictions, where technologies can really help you as a business or as an individual to analyze, to foresee, and to think, to forecast, and to take your precautions, and to be prepared for any problem, obstacle, or challenge that you can face. Thank you so much for your good listening. Thank you so much, TDRA, for this opportunity in providing this session today, creative problem solving. This was a topic of digital fundamentals, mainly digital transformation. Thank you so much.